Gotta pick out some good old oh hey, my avatar's not on. Well, I want my avatar on. Boop. There's self-promotion. There she be. Let's see what to say here. All right. All right, let's go ahead and scoot on over to our workshop. Hello today. I woke up late as heck today, ladies and gentlemen. I am out of it. I am a barely functioning piece of meat. Maybe. This is a video game. So, now we can finally reveal my bits that I printed. Let's see. All right. So, status on these bits. We had a bit of unfortunateness in that all of the sheathed knives did not print properly. The actual sheath itself seems to have only been supported on one side, which has resulted in, like, handles, but the actual sheath itself ended up this thin, flappy bit. Ended up being this thin, flappy bit that just broke. So that's unfortunate. So the sheathed knives. Now, thankfully, it looks like all of the actual knives printed just fine. And those actually seem to be our only lost bits in our entire batch of process. Actually, I lost 2 bits from the arms, but those were not misprints. Those popped off while I was handling them and rolled into places I can't find them. But as for it stands, most of Squad ralof, it looks like the main body, and obviously I printed a bunch of extra arms so that I don't always have to print arms. I might even today order a new bottle of resin, print a set of arms, print a set of knives, but that'll be for later. All their weapons came through, tons of bits. I had even printed extra bits. I have the Broodlord head that ralof himself, I actually have a spare too, will be hefting as a trophy. Oh, someone on Vienna server is offering to show off my Twitter link, because on their server I can't just post links, which I hang out on their server for more than just being able to advertise. I actually really like Vienna. She's a great VTuber. Very good dragon. Okay. So I got my clips. Clip. Okay, so I keep getting distracted by Discord. Discord wants to talk to me so badly. See what we're up to. Just gonna kind of give myself one quick look around. It actually looks like this Discord's pretty active. All right, okay, I gotta stop getting distracted on ya. Okay, so obviously when I resin bit, I think this is the first time I've actually assembled resin components on stream. One second, I just gotta adjust something back here. All right, here we are. Looks like there might be some trouble with posting that link. If they want to take it down, they can take it down. Alright, but I gotta stop getting distracted so I can actually do my stuff. But, so the way 3D resin print works is that this is upside down and is hooked to a bed, right? And it makes, this is called the raft, and these are supports. And so I have found the best way to unclip these without damaging the part itself is actually just to mostly clip away the raft, because it's actually rather well interconnected between the raft and the parts. So let's go ahead. I'm going to start with these arms because I actually want to experiment with these because I have not used this style of posable component before. So I want to check these out. Also, be careful not to cut or lose your parts as you bring them loose. But here we have Stalwart Squad ralof and his giant fucking axe. I cannot wait to get to work on this axe. I'm gonna have to look up some tutorials on how to paint, like, energy axes. And I'm gonna have to do something about this librarian skull on it. I don't think that that really fits the aesthetic, so I'm gonna try and get rid of that and replace it with something else. In the future, I will be hunting for STLs of Reaver chest plates so that I don't have the Aquila on them, but ralof will have the Aquila. I think in this case, we're going to call ralof and his squad a particularly devout squad. These guys are a little more dedicated to the Allfather and his, like, worship and honoring than others, so he's more prone to leaving the eagle. I'm just gonna pop some of these off. So the way these work, the way that I am aware that these work, is that they are a pin and socket construction. Hopefully I haven't cut up a bunch of the sockets. I'm just kind of putting them over here. And I will show you in a second, once I've finished undoing this, how they are supposed to work. And I shall see how well they actually work. Because it's a very interesting concept. I've never seen it before. And if it works out, this print will actually be quite great. Just gonna peel these away. Unfortunately, due to my local atmospheric conditions of my current plane of existence, I have to be a little extra heavy on the supports, because the resin cures, but it takes a little second to solidify. Just an extra second to, like, become an actual solid piece. And that second is enough for pieces to tear loose and come off their supports, and resulting in failed prints. So I have to go pretty heavy on the supports, but I believe I've got this one clean. They're clear. And I'm not going to do a full cleanup of the parts right now. But as far as I'm aware, the parts should fit together kind of like this. And then you can pose them. I might need some gap filler for these guys, although that one has a piece that needs to be... I think it actually just broke off in there, so I'm actually just gonna real gently dig that out. Yeah, that's actually really interesting. So it'll be hard to see because these are rather small components. But each one is a shoulder set at an angle, and then a forearm elbow component. And you can fit them, and that you could match the angles you want to pose the arm you want. And you can rotate them this way. So this is actually a really fascinating, like, development. I think if these look okay once I have them assembled, because that's my biggest fear is that they're going to be too short. They look like they might be the right size, but they might be short. That's my biggest fear for them. But we'll get there. Okay, so I'm just going to set the arms off to the side for a moment. And we're going to go ahead, peel. Now, the way I have these set is so that their rafts overlap just slightly. So it causes them to be like a solid contained piece on the bed. So they have to tear them away from the bed in order to come off it. But once it's off the bed and it doesn't have that support, these guys snap apart into individual components pretty easily. And you can see just those pop into two. And it helps with handling and making sure they don't break. Okay. Let's see, this is Ralof's legs. Tell you what. What do we say we start with Ralof's Marksman? Oh, I don't have any music. My sister just got. The gremlin has arrived. I shall get you some music. Let's see. Epic. Some D&D. Background music. Let's put some ambient fantasy music. That'll work. Alright, so let's start with trying to put together Squad Ralof's Marksman. Now, I don't have names for each individual Iron-Tide Wolf here, but I imagine this guy, who has the second most static pose of the group, is in fact the their marksman, because I've kind of picked out a targeter for him and everything. And like I said, stalwart is the term I was using for these, for this particular pack, because these guys are, you know, in game, these guys would be objective holders, home field objective holders. They would, or, you know, home field, side field objective home holders. They would grab an objective, and it would be their job basically to hold the objective for the game and, you know, fend off attacks to get rid of it. And that's actually one of the things Space Wolves, surprisingly, I say surprisingly, but Space Marines are actually pretty good at units like that. It's a common thing for them to have their troops are really good. And especially in Space Wolves with, like, obviously I am proxying a Power Fist or Thunderhammer with this axe. And it's actually pretty, they make for pretty deadly opponents, especially once you're in the Assault Doctrine. Oh, this is a bit of a loud music. Especially once you're in the Assault Doctrine with the, get this music down a little further. With the Power Fist, they actually output a lot of close combat, and I don't run Assault Intercessors, and I don't think Assault Intercessors are the right call for Space Wolves, actually. The extra AP is nice, but you're only going to have a couple squads. The way I run them, I mostly run Wolf Guard, which will be representative of Blood Claws in this chapter. So I find the extra firepower is generally a bit better. Let's see. Now, one of the problems I ran into in my previous ones is that if you don't clean up the dang flashing that gets left, it makes it really difficult to paint. Like, it's actually really rough. So you gotta make sure you really do clean those up. So we're just gonna get these in. Okay. Just kind of do once over. There's some in the knees back here. And I'm just using a knife to pick out these little bits. And what all they are is they come off real easy. And all they are... this one's a little bit in there. Are these supports where they attach. And sometimes they just leave little tiny nubs. They generally keep the detail intact. That's actually a thing that, as I've gotten into 3D printing, I've actually been really impressed with, is how intact the detail is, despite the supports being attached to it. So these supports are very good at being non-intrusive. Just kind of scrape that clean a bit. Alright. There's the legs. I'm just gonna set him here with a base that I've selected for him. Now the torsos here are all interchangeable at this stage, because I've not given them any special torso-ness. Not giving them any special torsos or anything like that to differentiate one from another, which is fine. At this stage, that is no big deal. Just gonna make sure we get rid of the bit of flashing there. Just get a little bit support road. Scrape that out of there. This one came out pretty clean. Okay, so now we've got a head, or a body. And then let's grab a power pack. Now the power packs as well are interchangeable. Now I've done a unique thing in that these like rounded domes of the power packs at the back are where I will be putting my company markings. That one came off nice and easy. But, oh, she's got plenty that I gotta clean up here. Pay extra attention to the flashings on a power pack because it can actually make your power pack look strange and lopsided. And since the power pack fills up a lot of visual space on the back, it can be really easy for the power pack to, if it looks a little bit weird, it can make the whole model look a little weird. Ta-da! Okay, so now we've got a power pack. Now, let's see. Oh, and I picked up his head on the first try. So I did actually select a head for each of them, the helmet. Now, for those of you who were here last time when I discussed the lore for this chapter, many Space Wolves prefer to go bareheaded. That is not the case for the Irontide Wolves, as they are a very starship-focused chapter. They do a lot of void environment combat. It's not uncommon. A very common thing that they end up fighting is on the surface of Tyranid hive ships. Those are the nodules. Yeah, she came out just fine. So on the surface of Tyranid hive ships, they, roam around and basically cripple organs, and then the macro cannons strip away spore shields from their ships, and they bombard it. Their tactics actually, their void tactics actually is one of the reasons why. And I will have to figure out a way to represent this going forward. That pretty much every brother of the chapter learns to pilot small craft. Arvis lighters, Stormhawk interceptors, Storm Wolves, Thunderhawks. Not all of them learn like Storm Wolves, Thunderhawks. Those are generally for more experienced warriors and pilots, especially the transports. But like Stormhawk interceptors, fighters, Arvis lighters, things like that, even like that's actually part of their Bloodclaw training. I'm actually going to step out and use the restroom, and I shall be back in just a moment. Enjoy the music. I have no idea how long I've been muted. I am complete numpty. Complete and utter fool. Completely silly head. Oops. Well. Oh well, so now I'm here. I guess you missed the ordering green stuff on Amazon and the baby arm panic. That I thought these might be too short, but in retrospect, they're actually looking to be about the right size. They don't quite have as much detail as the other arms, so I may want to use the other arms in the future, but still. Just kind of clip off. Gotta get through this big structure right here in the center. It's important when you're cutting into like the more dense resin support structures that you make sure, doubly sure, that your clippers are not hitting your actual component. Because if they are, and you squeeze down to cut through that tougher component, you're going to cut through your, you're going to cut right on through your component. And that's going to be a bad time. Now, one of the things I am doing, that am kind of a common thing that I do, is you can clip down, kind of get it to dig in, and then twist, and they'll pop off. And they pop off real easy instead of having to cut through them. Especially once they get low like this, you don't necessarily have to actually cut them. So now we can move into cleaning this guy up with my knife. Make sure we get the flashings. Because those things, they might seem small at this stage. And then you try to paint it, and like, wham, there they are, hello. Like, they are actually really crappy when it comes to the painting. Like, it's a pretty hideous thing that shows up. And I've learned this through a couple of my prototype miniatures. Like, most of their, like, flaws are actually, like, these flashings that I just didn't clean up because I was eager to paint, to get to this stage where I can actually just play with my stuff. Now just get that in there. Make sure we dig that out. Okay. Get him a base. Oh, this base has got a flashing on it. Get him a base. Get him on here. Tick, 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 tick. Huh. I think sometimes I just don't put enough on here. I feel Feels inconsistent sometimes. Let's try that. Tick, tick, tick. So, this is ralof. This guy's kind of standing still, but he's going to be the one hefting the Broodlord head. And I'm going to try and have his axe planted on the ground. This thing right here. While I have it in my hands, we can finally cut this out, because I've been waiting to cut this one out. So we're just going to do that now. Just gonna twist a little bit in there. This is a slightly different style of support I do not see before getting on the model. We'll peel some of this away. Okay, so we now got the bulk of that away. This is gonna take some cleaning. Because there is some very strange supports on this thing. I kind of use an auto support. I'm still learning that myself, but the auto support has been really well in Lychee. Really good. For the most part, we got this boy clear, so now I'm going to come with my knife. Do my best to clean up stuff like this. It's okay if the skull doesn't come out perfect, because we are planning to get rid of it. Just kind of shave out this other stuff. Got all these like really small ones, like very interesting how it's got these almost like thread-like ones, and then we have more traditional ones down here. Try not to go too ham with the knife, because obviously there's detail all over this thing that I want to preserve if I can. Just kind of get in there. I think we've about got it. Yeah, we have our axe, which I'm hoping to like plant like at his feet, like he's holding it out here. Might have to lift it up a little bit, but that's the plan, is to put it there so that he's got the axe planted, and then his other hand will have the head of the Broodlord. Which I chose the Broodlord because, like, obviously ship action, space hoax, stuff like that, Tyranids. And of course, when they claimed Valka, their home system, they fought Hive Fleet Leviathan. Now let's see. We've still not gotten into bits or anything, so we're just gonna get ourselves a torso. A twist. This one came out right, easy. Now we clean the torso up. Oh, its little flashings and stuff. Gotta be gentle on the eagle, because if you scrape off too much detail on the eagle, it'll look funny. Yeah, it looks like this one came away pretty clean. Just need a little love in the skull here. So I'm thinking for him, he's also going to be kind of turned to this way, because this will be... Let's see, which hand is the axe hand? This hand is the axe hand, yeah. So it'll be kind of like turned this way with the axe here, and the head and the torso will be turned this way with the axe over here. So that's what we're going to try. We're going to go ahead and get this in here. We're just going to kind of turn him like that. And just hold it there for a few more moments. Okay, she's stuck in there. We shall retrieve a power pack while we are waiting for that to dry. Gotta be careful right here. Oh, yep, there it went. So this is, I just said it and then it just happened, but one of the issues that can happen is that these 4 little vents in the bottom of these can pop off real easy if you're not gentle. So, I don't think it will be a big deal. I could maybe put that as like battle damage. And it's still a little too thick. But the bottom vents are very vulnerable to that. Okay. I will probably put that as battle damage. I think I can just kind of paint that in as battle damage. I think it'll be okay. And it'll look right on Ralof, because he's obviously holding the, like, Broodlord head, so it's gonna look like he got in the most danger. Ooh, we gotta make sure we actually clean this up before we try to glue it on, huh? There's flashing right here, I can tell. It's gonna make gluing this thing a nightmare. Okay. That in there. Get that to sit. Oh, he's... Yeah, I'll maybe even like later cut some, like scrape some scratches in there, like a claw took that off. But we'll get there. Okay. Okay, we also have the cable here, which I'm gonna go ahead and clip the cable off of its sprue. But we're still... I printed the cable. We're still not 100% certain if I'm going to use the cable. It's kind of a neat idea. But it also might be a pain to actually get attached. We'll see about it. For now, Ralof has that. Now let's see. Let's see about some arms. So if I do like a... something like this. I'll just put it out here. Kind Now like this, we're just... Oh, and I knocked the backpack off. Tell you what, we can do this without the backpack, because it's actually kind of in the way for my fingers. And then... the hand position on the axe might be just a little too high to actually have it planted on the ground. So maybe at rest at his side. Have him like holding it out this way. Yeah, kind of like a taunt, right? Yeah, that should actually work pretty well. Alright, let's get the backpack back on there. Don't know why I seem to be having trouble getting these things to stick, but I may just have started too soon. Maybe should have just given it more time to dry. Gotta be a little more respectful of glue. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Plan is to hold it out like this. Kind of like, come at me. So. This one shouldn't require any green stuffing because I can make it nice and flush. We'll let that one dry. And I don't think I need to keep any part of his parts separate on account of... sorry, stretch. I don't think I need to keep his parts separate for painting because he's kind of got an open stance. And actually, one thing I do need to glue is this. Classic. We glue the backpack on sideways, like cattywonky. So we're gonna have to try this again. Only need a little bit this time because there's already some on there, so let's actually try getting this on right, eh? But actually, yeah, these arms, they look small, but now in retrospect, now that I kind of look at them, we'll see how they look with a shoulder pad on. That's the big deciding factor. Rude Lord head I've got right here, but I need to actually find some other bits in this morass because I'm still not certain how best to mount this in his hand. Here's the other heads, added in some components somewhere to aid in this, but I can't seem to locate Interesting. Well, theoretically, use one of the knife hands. Because I printed spare knife hands. And having him have it gripped by the spike won't be the most firm hold, and it's too narrow to pin, but could work. Whoop. I could have swore that in here I had printed a hand for this. I guess I might be using a spare knife hand for this and doing what I can. I actually may even thought I would. Let's see what we've got here. I thought I might have a spare hand, but it actually does not seem to be the case. These are leftover scrap bodies. Yeah, I do not have a spare hand. Alright, we'll figure that out. We'll figure out the actual mounting when it comes to it, but kind of want him holding it front and center here, kind of high up, so clean this part up. Something like holding it up here. And I don't want a relatively great cuff. Bring this up a little bit. But not perfectly straight. So this one's needs a little more trim, a little more cleaning. Go straight in, just like that. Nope. Sometimes when you're trying to be tender with these, you lose your grip. This one will need some gap filler. Turn it this way some. I think I need a straighter arm. Just gotta clear that up. Then we just get this in just like that. This one probably could still benefit from the gap filler. Yeah, that should work. Get that in there, let that cure. There we go. Let's see. So. And then this actually gonna... What do we think? Do we think this is what we want? I'm actually gonna say no. Pop this off. We're actually gonna downturn this. A bit. We're gonna kind of do... kind of like he's holding it a little bit more at rest rather than up above his head. Okay, we're gonna let that cure. We can sort of test fit. So it's gonna be more like this. Where he's holding it out here. Yeah, that's better. Something like that. Definitely like it more. I'm gonna clean up the top ridge of this X here because it's a... Okay. So that is how we will mount that hand. I have the Brood Lord here. So he's coming together much better than him, but he needs some green stuff to help out his shoulder joint to actually get a shot. And I think there's going to be another one we're going to have this issue with. Okay. Let's find his head, shall we? It's not one of these. Break this way, that way. Pop this boy off. We're gonna clean up some of the flashing. Little pitting in the back, but that should actually disappear pretty easily. Kind of gonna look him up like that. We can definitely glue this head in, because we know where the Broodlord head will be. We're just gonna kind of let that dry in there like that. Alright. Ralof himself has come together pretty well, ladies and gents. He's not going to need that much extra work. Well, I mean, he's going to need a ton of extra work because I've got to figure out how to actually get him holding this Broodlord head. But that's the fun, isn't it? Oh dear. Where? those shoulder pads at? Oh no. Ladies and gents, I may have made a terrible error in my planning. Did I really not catch that? Oh no. The shoulder pads and insignias are not here. That's amazing. I have some spares. We can do a little bit. We can at least do some dry fitting, because, yeah, see, this immediately rebulks out their arms to look much better. So that leaves us with a dilemma here, because I had planned to use a embossed pack marking for this unit. We might be going back to lychee, ladies and gentlemen. Because I was originally going to do an Iron Wolf embossed thing on this shoulder for their chapter symbol, and a embossed, like, kind of Trinity knotwork for their non-chapter symbol. Wouldn't mind pinning this if I could get the chance, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I did not yet, so I should probably glue this. Probably glue this as well, and we'll see if the bond breaks. I'll try to pin it later. It's just with this particular resin, I've had a very, very large amount of trouble getting this thing to pin, like actually drilling into this thing. Trying to find a stable hold on it here. Okay, we're just gonna let that cure. We're gonna give that one a good amount of time to cure, because that one feels a bit soft. So, pick this up. Go here. And we're going to go ahead and make our front real quick to actually get the parts that we have missing. And this can include the hand for ralof. So I had this, one of these. I also had... That is his right arm, though. I was thinking maybe I'd cut the hand off this thing. From the looks of it, I will have to mirror. And that makes it a right arm because he's got his axe in his left. Yeah. So, and I was thinking that I'd just end up like slowly cutting that hand off and using that maybe, so that I could repose it. So we'll try those out. Shoulders. Whoops, that's not the button I meant to hit. We have the Iron Wolf symbol, which is what I kind of wanted to use for my my chapter, was the Iron Wolf symbol instead of the regular Space Wolf symbol, just painted metallic. Go here. These are blank shoulder pads. I'm going to go ahead and print a volley of those, because I don't have enough spares. What's it, pad 1, maybe, of these? Yep, here we go. And here's what I was going to use their pack marking. I was going to paint a red field. I was going to paint the raised areas black, red field, and then put the red in between. Like recess in the reds. So that way I could make sure that you could see that it was this knotwork pattern. And I'm still going to try that. Now that I've done that, though, am I missing any other parts? Oh, I do want to... Since I've got the space, I should go ahead and give the knives another run. Oh, it offers fixed mesh issues on that one, but it says that there aren't any, but I clicked the button just in case. Okay. Am I missing anything else? Does not appear like it. I changed music, don't worry about it. Does not appear that I'm missing any other components. I have plenty of bits, bunch of arms that have surprisingly actually worked out, despite appearing kind of short. I just gotta make sure I don't glue the shoulder pad completely flush. I think the part that is small is actually the shoulder. Gone deaf. For some reason my headset just turned off for no reason. Alright. Let's see. Anything else I want to get out of this print? I should be good for now. So what I'm gonna do is I can take these over into the prepare and let them do this. I've just not become that great at setting supports myself, and these have been working really well, and I've kind of gone about understanding what's going on here. Now it's here, this knife structure, that's really been bothering me, because it's not... This whole area is unsupported for its presets, and I don't know if I should just leave it that way or what. So I'm actually going to add some extra supports myself. Add support there. Add support there. Add support there. There. I'm just gonna kind of add some supports at the bottom edge on the flat here. Right, it's a little extra support, but I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to layout. We're gonna do some copies. I'm gonna copy each of these twice. Alright, this one is going to get copied. I need 4 more to actually do the set. So we're gonna get them up to 7 and just have 2 spares. And we do the same here. here. And then the last one we need to copy, which I'm going to go ahead and copy 6 of these too. So. Okay, now this shouldn't be that long of a print either. I will not be doing it today. I will probably do it tomorrow when I get home from work. But that being said, this is our print. So we're going to go ahead and export. I'm going to do that so that you're not watching an ad. Continue. Ralof Part 3. So we'll probably print these tomorrow. Yum. Oh, I should have let you guys watch that. It's actually a pretty cool animation of it going from the slices. So. Expected 1 hour, 20 minutes, so probably closer to actually 2 hours. Okay. With that done, we can return to assembly. Well, let me check the clock here. I think it is actually time to call it here, because we've run into some issues along the way that kind of need to be resolved before I can really reasonably continue this. But I am happy with this. This has come out pretty nicely. So hopefully once I get the shoulder pads on there, it'll look good. But thank you for joining me in this episode of Let's troubleshoot technical difficulties of 3D printing and totally forgetting to print parts in the first place. Well, goodbye!